All right, welcome to day 3 of Iola, day 2 of the Lewisburg Garage 777 car build. We've been thrashing in this car live. This is Luke McLean's old race car right here from Wisconsin. This car and Luke are in the Dirt Track Hall of Fame right down the road. This car is a 1963 and 1964 championship car. My friend Andy and I are attempting to get this thing running by 4, maybe 5 o'clock tonight. And as you can see, we have a tremendous amount of work to do. And day 1, day 2, part 1, part 2, we got the distributor in, we adjusted our supercharger belts, we've got our terminator X, ignition box, all of our control boxes in, fuel system up in, but there's a tremendous amount of work to do. We are going to absolutely start thrashing on this thing. Let's see if we can pull it off. Thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate it. Little history on the car before we get started. Luke was a Wisconsin boy. I actually just met a guy that knew him very well. And this was one of his first race cars, obviously. And the reason he decided to put it on the street was it was, well, like most dirt track cars were back in the day, but they could find the scrap file behind the shop, stuff like that. And he actually ended up racing a 57 Ford and a 1964. He was sponsored by a local Ford dealership. Now, a lot of people actually recognize him from those cars more so than the 38 Chevy Coupe right here. But nonetheless, when he retired and moved to Florida after his daughters grew up, and his wife said, hey, I think you could race again. Keep in mind, he was fairly aged at that point. He restored this car once again, and that's the paint that you see on the vehicle now. And he actually continued racing down in Florida, and once again was holding the checkered flag. The guy was just incredibly talented. And I just learned through a gentleman I met this morning as well, that he also raced snow machines. So the guy was really like going fast, apparently. We last worked on this on an episode of What You the Rescues, where we had intended on just getting it running, but what that ended up being was we pulled the body off and completely rebuilt the frame. It is the original frame. However, we cut all the rust and rot out of the original frame, which means there's no original frame. But we boxed it all in, and Andy, who's over there under the car, I think, he's the one that built the Nerf bar, single bunker and stuff like that. We tried to keep kind of the old traditional look and stuff like that. Then we grafted in a Mustang's 2 front end. I got off Tio. That's why the front tires, this why it's lighter and clean. Kind of got a ka-chow. In the back here, we got a 4-link quick performance rear end. I can't remember the gear. I think it's a 323 with a locker. And it's on adjustable foil. We'll eventually have adjustable on the front. It's got a Blueprint 400 in it and a DDS 671 blower. We're going to be running poly fuel injection on this to the Terminator X. And it's got a TKX 5-speed from Silver Sport transmission. So it still should get down and farty, but I'm hoping I can put it on the interstate, get 4 miles to go. My ultimate dream with this car, you know, the obvious, boot it through the tower in the parts store, but do something like Power Tour or throw the wife in and, you know, do Route 66, stuff like that. Actually get it out to shows and ride it and enjoy it. We have driven it to one car show, but that was in the go left mode, and it was terrible. My arms were on fire by the time I got there. So we're going to jump right back in today. A lot of wiring has gone on, and I need to quickly get us to the point where I can start the Terminator X computer up. I've still got to sync the dual sync distributor so we can set our timing, and then I've got to get the laptop out that I brought somewhere, get on the AOL, and try to tune this thing or put a rough tune in it. And then we've got to change some settings, like our map sensor, some things like that. And then I've got a switchboard in there, which is this schematic, and I've got to start lining everything up. So power to lights, accessories, power to the ignition, power to fuel pump, power to computer, and of course our momentary for our start button. So I'm going to be working on all of that. Andy's going to be focusing on more of the fabrication, cutting, things that shouldn't be crooked, hence why I'm not doing them. And we're waiting on parts, as usual. So hopefully the Summit ferries show up some point this afternoon. They have a lot of vital parts that should be on that truck. What I'm doing here is I spent half a day fishing this into the A filler and around to the B filler and back to the computer. Only to remember at 3 o'clock this morning, trying to sleep, that I forgot a wire. So I just added that to my harness here. Now I've got to refish it once again.
Did you cut this stuff already?
Well, from front to back, it was kind of just nothing in there when I got it after roadworthy. You could lift up the trunk and see the engine and trans from the back. So everything had to get filled in. The body was just a shell over the frame and cage, and that was kind of tied in but needed some more. So front firewall, trans tunnel, floors, more cross members for the seats, door sills and rockers, rear firewall and tube work to cover up the 4-link and the fuel cell mount, and covering that and mounting the remote filler neck to the side of the rear fender. A rear bumper needed to be made, cut in a door latch. This had nothing, so it was kind of like building a whole new car with not really any direction or thing to follow. So little bits here and there, doing a lot of CAD, cardboard aided design, cutting out a lot of stuff in paper first, transferring to sheet metal. It's been a lot of work and still a decent amount to do.
Okay, I think guys have got the wires we need back towards the battery, by the way, which is why we're working a lot on it here, is right behind the seat. And that's also where our leach controller is, which is basically just a fancy way of saying that's where all the relays are. I've got 8 fuses and 4 relays right behind the seat that is connected to a switch cam up here by our rivet. And that's what we've got a program as well. Basically, we want, for example, one button would be the car turns on as far as lights, horn, stuff like that. One could be the ignition, one could be the Terminator X. The next button is the start up. And then the other ones could be like headlight, things like that. I've got to sit down for 3 minutes and kind of design that out. Okay, now that that's kind of this sort of this planned, I need to contort myself in here and start getting this wired in. Yes. Let's see. When wiring some of this stuff, I like to use the batteries with the top post and the side post, because I can run. You can split it up. You don't have to have 37 eyelets on. 1 3/8 volt. You can share a little bit. See on the edge of the switch counter, it says monetary and master. And if you read the instructions with too long, if you click those, it does stuff. Because our fourth switch is a start, and you only need that to be momentary. And what that means is, if you press it, it will activate the relay, but the second you let go, it shuts it off. Otherwise, it's known as a latch. So if you push it on, it just stays on, which would be great for like your stereo or headlights, stuff like that. So I'm going to take my knife and just jam it in here, and think we get sparks. So they already have number 1 up, which means they have that program with the starter that I keep going to change. We had a good time swap these last night. We wanted a little fire outside the Winnebago. We created some stuff with some firewood, but then we realized we don't have an axe. I guess we could find an axe. Have a little. And then we had to, of course, pick up the Jeff Ford and base staging. And then we had to find the fixing to sharpen our axe. And then I accidentally bought the front end to a Dodge van last night. Ask me why. I don't know. I don't even have a van at all. It is Andy's fault. It says weren't paid in the front. And it's like, all right, we're good. I don't have a way to get it on. I think we've got stickers. We could really lighten them between this thing.
We're going to have our first system check momentarily, which will be the Terminator X. Theoretically. Oh, I might be missing one clawpole actually.
I think I
Connect these two. You should be able to fire up their computer.
I like the purple belts. I think that's what. Oh no!
Never see that again. I think that's what Luke had in it. With his original seat. I'd have to go back and look.
I am going to check the one of the systems. I like to check the electrical systems one at a time. And right now I'm going to do the Terminator. And just see if maybe a guy has it set up correctly. Nothing. So what do you got going? Oh, yeah, we talked about this. There might be another wire.
Yeah, that should be working, man.
Whoa, hey.
It's hot in there.
You just hand tight. I didn't realize the ground was still on there. Just about welded this thing to a.
And it burns down.
Should I just left it in here?
Good.
The guy's back. Here we are. Sorry if I just missed you over there on the other side. We got a good crowd going over here though. I'm doing them one at a time if you're curious. Just because if I do everything at once and then hit a button and nothing happens, it's a lot harder to troubleshoot what potentially went wrong or what needs to happen. So I like to just ease my way into it, if you will.
Multicolor right now.
Yep. So if I hit off on computer, it turns red on the bar up here. On computer, should kick that on. Boom. Ha-ha!
Nice, you can actually see the results.
Okay, so first system test here. We got red lights on the switch panel up here. I've got them labeled. I've got 4 I'm working on: ECU, ignition, computer, and starter. And right now, with my computer turned on, we do have power to the Terminator X. So the mission success. I'm going to turn that off. Next one I'm going to work on is ignition, which is my MSD box. I've got to do a few ring terminals there. And we'll try to fire that up. And then we'll move on to our ECU. Once I have all those powered up, I've got to do some timing with this dual sync distributor. It's a little bit different. You actually drop the lightning whirler in at 50 degrees timing. And then you turn the cap, and there's some red lights in there that flash and do stuff and play music. And then you lock it down right there. And the reason they do that is the computer wants that much room to adjust timing for you. It's all automagical. I would explain that to you, but I don't know how it works. Make sense? Perfect. So, let me do some more wiring here. I'll be back with you in a minute. We's in a tough situation here. I seem to have a seat in my mouth, right on my enamel. Here's our green wire for the fuel pump we got to figure out too. Oh, I got to figure out the constructions of that because I think that's a high-low pump. Like two pumps in one.
Kind of like for,
Like if you hit boost, it'll, like on a turbo car, it'll,
you can start running out of fuel.
It'll turn the second one on and, and then the other one's like, but then together they're like, wah!
And then the car goes boom.
Right. Okay, just like that, we've got 4 more wires terminated. I'm trying to use all red if I can, so no one knows what's happening. And using a side post and a top post battery. We got 1 wire left, and we'll test the ignition. And that should hopefully fire off. And we're cruising right along here. Andy's drilling holes, so he feels at home. He's putting in a ground tab on the captain's side. We've got one over here on the frame, or on the roll cage, excuse me, on this side. But we're gonna put one on that side too, because we can ground on both sides that way, and we're not gonna have a mess of wires going back and forth on that front bar. Over there will be all of the grounds for headlights, taillights, turn signals, horn, all of that stuff. I've already got the starter wired up, but I don't want to bump that yet until we dial in our Hyperspark, because I've got that set at that 50 degrees I was talking about earlier. Has anybody been watching the weather? Is it supposed to rain again today, or is it gone? No, we're good? Great. So we'll fire the terminator, which is computer. There we go. And we should see a green light right there if I hit ignition. Bam. All right. This feels weird that nothing is melting or smoking yet. Pretty neat. So now we move on to the, I think they call it a Pro Street controller. Or, Pro Street wiring board. So I've got to run a main wire normally from the battery over to this, and then it's got probably a keyed ignition. But we're going to do a relay ignition on this. So let me get after that right now. And then we'll fire that up, and then we've got all systems on board. And we're to the point we got to start tuning, do the ignition, so on and so forth, stuff and things. That's crooked. I wanted no action in cutting the giant 2-inch hole in the firewall that he handmade.
It's okay, it's
I
behind
wanted none of that.
It's behind the motor.
Yeah, just make sure that hole saw doesn't take out the distributor shaft when it goes through. Should we start tinting the windows today? Give her a twist. There you go. Okay. That's it? Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. So now I'm just gonna go clip. Okay, 2 main ones are through, which was the front thing and the twin. What is this thing? Ignition. Oh yeah, I can plug that in too. That is the nice thing about the Holly kits, is it's plug and play. You can't plug the wrong thing into the wrong thing, because every connector is specific for that. That doesn't seem right. Huh. Oh no, my brakes. Shouldn't something screw into that? So everything is plugged in now except oil pressure, coolant temp sensor, O2, fuel. Oh. We don't have a street elbow on the oil pressure. That's going to be a problem. I put in a brass fitting on the block and installed this for an old analog oil pressure gauge. If we don't cap that now or actually install an oil pressure gauge, it's going to geyser. I have a pressure transducer up in my swap spot, but I don't have this.
Or we just hook a hose up to that old gauge.
Right, or we just call O'Reilly and get an old school oil pressure line and just plug it in for now. Yep, sure, yeah. Yeah. Is there not a power light on that? Oh, we didn't install that fuse. Uh-oh. Where was that fuse in the kit? It's gone. That's good.
The fuses aren't all in there?
No, it says must install and it's missing. Not this one, the other one. It's for the street control box for like the lights and stuff. It's not a big deal. Because I just want to make sure it fired up. Off the Maya. Oh. Trying to fit in. Oh, dang it, shoot. It's going really good. I got one more ground wire, according to the constructions. And once I plug that in, then we're going to figure out how to time this thing with light beams somehow. It's a thing. We will learn together. And once that is done, we can hit the rotate engine button. See if this thing will actually rotate on command. And then we got to just button up our fuel system, lightning hoses. We got to get a oil pressure line kit for our little adapter-rooney doodabber. And we are drawing close to attempting to blow this thing, start this thing up. Okay, that's wired up. Now, I'm gonna get this dash plugged in. And there should be a CAN bus module thing over here. Oh, wow, okay. That looks aggressive. And CAN bus is short for CAN bus. And it transfers stuff automagically from the computer box to the screen via satellites and butter. I'm pretty certain. So plug this in like this. That doesn't feel right. No. Can't go to this. It's USB. I think I need a different cord. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's not panic. Nobody panic. Start panicking. It's not good. So I'm going to go plug this screen in. See if it lights up. Oh. You know what I don't have, though, is the cord to go from CAN bus to USB. So I can hook this to my computer. And that's actually a big, big, big deal. Oh, boy. Does anybody have a CAN bus to USB cord? By chance? Crickets. That's great. confirmation on screenage. But I can't change our, I cannot change our map sensor with this. I need the computer box. Okay, I've tried a few people I can think of here. No go on the cable. We can maybe get by without it. But I've asked Ellie from Iola if she could maybe make an announcement that I'm looking for that cable. And there's a fairly decent chance someone has one in their rig, because that's what you use to tune your vehicle if you're on a Terminator or Dominator, etc. And I only need it for just 3 minutes, Andy. That's it. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, yeah. It's coming. There it is. Hey, we got stuff. Wow. Do you want to load the factory default screens? Sure. Okay, that was it. Wow, that was not kind of lackluster. I thought there'd be like, please hold some music or something, but it's done. What happens if I go to menu? I just got dashboard, customize, what's under configuration? Number of layouts, that's it, yeah, so. I can do no tuning from this particular device. Ooh, now it's snazzy. That's like a 69 Camaro dash. I wish y'all could see this stuff. That was Aaron Reeves. You can find him up at the Oasis with Garfield, the work truck. I thought maybe he might have a cable on the work truck, but he doesn't. But I think we're gonna slowly march forward. I just don't know if I have the lights on the distributor without going into a setup process. And not having the computer may limit me on computer-edge setup-edge. Okay, a guy is back from the meet and greet. That was a lot of fun as usual. I hate to I'm the bringer of the bearer of the bad news. I don't think this is gonna run in the next 37 minutes. However, that doesn't mean we can't have fun and still get a lot of work done, which gets me closer to firing this up on my own when we get this back to Tennessee. We've had a few snafus through the week, but it's been a lot of fun designing everything, getting everything put back together. We're still gonna hustle as best as we can. Andy's under the car right now dragging a return fuel line. I have got to MacGyver a fuel inline set with, I've got a limited set of fittings here, and 2 of them I have to cut off. So it's gonna be a really crazy looking fuel in system. We're still gonna try, but I want you to know it's a possibility we might not get this fired up today. So, that being said, we're going to jump right back in, get to throwing some wrenches on this thing, and maybe we could at least turn it over with the starter. We're waiting on some parts from O'Reilly, I think, aren't we, Andy? The oil pressure line? Yeah, we need an oil pressure line so we're not shooting oil everywhere. I am going to continue to walk around and look for the gold AN wrenches. Of course, as they would be. Ah, see right here. So I'm going to reconfigure the fuel inlets on these throttle bodies. You can run the fuel in the front or the rear. And I'm going to move this guy to the back kinder. Or am I? See, I don't know yet. I have to figure out how. Problem is I need the fuel to cross over, and I also need fuel in both. And I've got a bunch of linkage in here as well. So there's some stuff going on in the neighborhood. O-ring oil. Guy drinks enough oil, it just comes right off the old tongue. Nope. We are missing a plug to the throttle body. I don't have enough. I need a third plug if I'm going to do a single crossover, and I don't have one. That ain't the good. I should have spent way more time planning and prepping this. But being so darn busy with revivals and everything else. Shoot. I don't know, when I do my lightning hoses, you probably just noticed, I just do one side at a time, so I'm not bouncing back and forth. So I just go around the cap, whatever vehicle I'm on, and get all those done at once, and then I come over to the other side, do the same thing, and bam, it's done. Do you guys remember your firing orders, or am I the only nerd that? There we go. I feel better now. Thank you. Looks like Andy's got the return line strapped in. That's looking great. I could pop the fuel pressure transducer in really fast as soon as I find the Allen wrenches I put up there. Cool thing about Holley's pressure transducers is you can use them for line pressure, fuel pressure, any pressure. As long as you have an 1/8" NPT, you can jam that puppy in and bam, pressure. Okay, we've got pressure there. Nice. Now, what can we do here? Let's check in with the list. This might be really depressing. Fuel pump is in. Regulator is in. Terminator X wiring is done. A lot is done. Ignition wiring is done. Wires the battery is done. Switch panel is done. The wires to it is done. Cut holes and pass-through firewall is done. Bleed the clutch, no. Run front brakes, no, but that's fine. I never have brakes. Tint the windows purple, no, that never happened. Tune it, no. Is the fuel system technically complete?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Up to the regular.
That's done. Nut and bolt check, no. Not even close. But that's pretty good. Man, I wish I had another day or two with y'all. We ran out of time. I wanted this so bad, but it is honestly my fault. I did not plan well for this. I should have spent more time. I assumed Everything was in the boxes from the previous build. I brought a bunch of stuff that I thought was going to do it, but it just didn't happen. We ran into a couple really weird snags, and at a swap meet, it's hard to find some of these particular things. And then just time. Realistically, I only had 14, 15 hours in the 3 days, which is 1 day typically. But I'm still extremely happy with the car. Andy was a huge help, and we made big progress. I mean, let's just go through all this really quick. We got the blower belt. All this stuff is now aligned, set up correctly. We got the distributor set in at 50 degrees. We got the lightning hoses in, the sparkulators in. We've got the ignition in, the ignition coil, excuse me. Fuel pressure regulator with that on. The dual throttle bodies is in. The linkage is all done. That's all plugged into the Terminator X. We've got the Willwood pedal system, pedal box, brake reservoirs. That's all hung. The line to the clutch is still in there. That's ready to go. We got an O2 drilled and welded into the header somehow. I didn't even think about that part, let's be honest. On the inside, it doesn't look like anything's changed from the outside, but there's 17 miles of wire in this thing. The Terminator X is wired in, it works. The MSD6AL is wired in, it works. The 7-inch Holley EF5 Pro Dash is in. We've got the 3.5 in here just for tuning. We got the leash controller, switch panel up top. All of the relays and fuses are in here, battery boxes in here. The Pro Street controller's up there mounted. That operates and works. A bunch of wires in here for future stuff, like tail lights, headlights, because I plan on street driving this. And he's got the whole fuel system plumbed, pre and post filters, pump, inlet and outlets in. I mean, it was a lot of just tedious, small work. But worry not, you will see this car again. And I know a lot of you have been asking about this car, and I hope this 3-video series kind of brings you up to here now of why it kind of went away, what it's been doing the whole time, and where we are today. I'll bring it back, we'll get it into Tennessee, we'll finish this thing up, we'll get it fired up. I would love your suggestions. Comment down below, where are we going to drive this thing for the unveiling? I need to go to a show or something cool, or maybe a 30s or 40s or 50s show. I'm not really sure. Thanks to Iola, Andy, Jessica, Stuart, Heidi, Chad, appreciate you. See you later.